Temptation is more than the urge to do wrong. It's that quiet moment when desire steps into the room and looks your purpose in the eye. It's the whisper that tests to see whether desire or discipline rules the heart. I'm Thomas E. Cunningham, and welcome to the Eve Effect. Today's conversation topic is when it's just one time isn't just one time. And we're calling out the most dangerous two-word phrase you're probably saying right now, just once. I'll just do it once and never again. Have you ever said just this once and then found yourself here again? This conversation is for you. Stay right here. Welcome to the Eve Effect, where we take a fresh look at an old story so you can better understand your own. Again, I'm Thomas E. Cunningham, pastor, author of If Only Eve Would Talk, and a Christian life coach. This channel is all about real, honest conversations, not sermons, conversations sparked by Eve's story in Genesis chapter 3, and about the struggles we all face but rarely talk about. So whether you're a longtime believer fighting a secret battle, new to faith, trying to make sense of temptation, or just someone who keeps falling into the same patterns, you belong here. We're diving into something powerful tonight. The language of self-deception is just one time. Specifically, the word just now. I know it sounds simple, but stay with me because this is about to get deep. Here's what I've discovered in 2 decades of counseling, that the words you use to describe your behavior shape your ability to change. So tonight, let's unpack why just one time is never just one time. How it can make something significant sound insignificant. And so before we start our conversation tonight, I'd like to just welcome those who are coming in online. Just want to just thank everyone for being part of this conversation tonight. Notice below I put a question in, which is the question we're going to be talking about and looking at tonight. And I want you to just answer the question if you can. Type once, few, or just the eye emojis. Most of the time that just kind of keep you out of the loop. So how many times have you told yourself it's just one time about something and then found yourself doing it again? Type once. Type a few times, or the eye emoji. That's one of the questions for tonight. Let me know where you're from. Drop your city, drop your state, your country. Just drop it in the chat so that I will know exactly where you're coming from. How many times have you told yourself it's just one time about whatever it is, and then you found yourself doing it again? All right, we have someone from Bowie. I see a lot of eye emojis, which is a good way to keep it away from being noticed too much. Someone said I'm from around the way. All right, a few times. Upper Marlboro is in the house. Anyone else? Does anyone out of the country or out of the city? Welcome to the Eve Effect. Welcome everyone to the Eve Effect. Okay, I see a lot of eye emojis. How many times have you told yourself it's just one time, whatever it is, and then found yourself doing it again. Okay, I see Big Dog in the house. All right, Big Dog is in the house. Someone say I lost count. Big Dog is in the house. Big Dog is in the house. Okay, all right. All right, Upper Marlboro. Someone said just like potato chips. Okay, just like potato chips. Nobody can eat just one. All right. How many times have you told yourself it's just one time about something and then found yourself doing it again? Once, few, or the eye emojis. This is what I have been learning and finding out in decades of counseling, of study, is that everyone is being tempted by something. And on the earlier conversations we've had, you may be on stage or step one on one, but you may be on stage or step 5 on another. But we're all being presented with something. Okay, if you knew this just once could start a habit, would you still do it? If you knew this just once could start a habit, would you still do it? I would love to hear your answer. If you knew this just once could start a habit, would you still do it? Someone said no, definitely not. Okay. If you knew this just once could start a habit, would you still do it? Okay, okay. All right, I see some good answers here. If you knew this just once could start a habit, would you still do it? Now, for all those who are in the chat and trying to put down, unless it's a good habit, you know good and well, we're not talking about the good habits tonight. We're talking about temptations in the wrong. And so that's a good way out, but let's stay within the loop. All right. If you knew this is just once could start a habit, would you still do it? Would you still do it? Would you still do it? Before we go to Eve's story, I want you to get honest with yourself. Think about an area of your life where you are stuck in a cycle, where you keep doing the same thing you said you'll never do again. Now think back. How did it start? I'm willing to bet it started with the phrase, just this once. If you look back, in the area of your life where you're stuck in a cycle, where you keep doing the thing you said you would never do again, just think back. I think it started with the phrase, just this once. Okay, I see some good answers. Because here's the truth that I need you to hear. The first time you say it, you might actually mean it. I'm going to do this just once and never again. You might have actually meant it when you said it. But here's the key. Your brain knows you said just once before and you came back. So just once doesn't mean what it used to mean. it means just once more. And every just once more makes it easier to come back again. Now, if you're at the right table, and if I'm touching some good areas, just put a thumbs up. Let me know. Let me know that I'm touching some good areas here. We're at the table. We're discussing temptation. This is the Eve effect. All right. But your brain knows. You said that before, and you came back. You said it before and you came back. So just once doesn't mean what it used to mean. It means just once more. And every just once more makes it easy to come back again. And this can be with all temptations. You can be tempted to watch something or click on sexual content. You could be tempted to lie or hide the truth. You could be tempted to cheat with money or cut corners. You could be tempted to drink, tempted to smoke or use something to escape, tempted to scroll for hours on your phone, tempted to go back to their website or their DM you know is dangerous. You could be tempted to snap, tempted to curse or get even with someone that tried to hurt you. You could be tempted to say yes to people when you know you should say no. You could be tempted to put things off and avoid your real responsibilities, or even tempted to compare yourself and feel jealous of others. So you can be facing all types or one of the types of temptations. And your brain knows that when you say just this once means just this once more. All right, give me some thumbs up. If you're going to come at the table, sit at the table, relax. We're just talking. This is no judgment here. But I believe this topic, temptation, is something that we need to talk about, need to discuss, get clarity of it, and then know how to tackle it. Know how to handle it when it comes our way. Someone says when the brain laughs at the behavior. Okay. I like the real answers. I like those who are being honest with themselves. That's the only way we can grow, if we sit at the table and we talk. Let me ask you this. If your private just once suddenly went public, would you still call it no big deal? Type yes, no, or put the eyes up. That's a good question. If your private just once suddenly went public, would you still call it no big deal? Type yes, no, or the eye emoji. Brother Robert, reader, temptation really exists when you're single. Okay, it's strong when you're single. It's strong when you are single. Those who are being honest with themselves,
I am so proud of you.
type yes, no, or the eye emoji. Yes, no, or the eye emoji. If your private just once, the private just once, not the public one, but your private just once, if it suddenly went public, would you still call it no big deal? Yes, no, or the eye emojis. Okay, tonight, I see that everyone came to talk at the table tonight. That's good. So now let's go back to the garden. Let's go back to the garden and look at Eve's story through the lens of language and self-deception. And notice something. Eve didn't think she was creating a pattern. Eve did not think she was creating a pattern. To Eve, I'll eat the fruit, I'll gain the wisdom, and everything will be fine. Good to see you, Untamed. JB, it's good to see you. Eve didn't think she was creating a pattern. To Eve, I'll just eat the fruit, I will gain the wisdom, and everything will be fine. This isn't who I am. It's just what I'm doing right now. How many people said that? That's not really me. It's just something that I did at that moment. But if we think about Genesis chapter 3 and Eve's situation, the moment she took that bite, everything changed. The moment she took the bite, everything changed. And it's not because the fruit itself had magical powers, but because she crossed a line she couldn't uncross. The good thing about the table is everyone is being challenged, but we're growing at the table. The good thing about this conversation is that we're talking about topics and things that most people hide or run away from. Eve did not know she was creating a pattern. Because what happens is it creates a new normal. It creates a new normal. She crossed a line she couldn't uncross. And what happened was it created a new normal for her. The first time you do it, it feels like an exception. I don't normally do this. But just this once, I'm going to make an exception. The first time always feels like an exception. But what it's doing is it's creating a new normal. And in your mind, an exception doesn't change who you are. It's a blip. It's a one-off, a moment of weakness that doesn't define you. But every exception creates a pathway. JB says Shorty had bad character. You have to do good even when no one is watching. 1 second can change the world. I agree. It started creating a new normal for her. But what we use is this word exception. Because when we use the word exception, in our mind, it doesn't change who you are. It's just one off. It's a moment of weakness that doesn't define you. But here it is. Every exception creates a pathway. Every exception creates a pathway. In your brain, every time you do something, you're strengthening the neutral connection that makes it easier to do it again. Did you not know that? Neurological, every time you do something, you're strengthening that connection that makes it easier to do it again. Eve's just this once, I'll eat from the tree God said not to eat from, was creating a pattern. And it makes it easier to do it the next time. Give me some thumbs up if you're still at the table. Don't run from the table. Stay at the table. Do not run from the table. Don't excuse yourself. Stay at the table. We're talking. We're just opening up this discussion on temptation. Not knowing that Eve, Genesis chapter 3, she was creating a pattern. I see some thumbs up. Okay. All right. Still at the table. Still at the table. Okay. Don't run from the table. Don't run from the table. Let's eat. All right. Okay, I like that. Eve was creating a pattern. She thought she was making one choice, but here's what she didn't realize. That one choice created a pattern of distrust towards God that now humanity has been walking ever since. She created a pattern. She created a pathway of distrust. A distrust towards God that now humanity has been walking ever since. And you wonder how you got here, because Eve created a pattern of distrust. Okay, let's go back to questions here. I don't see nobody running from the table. So this is good. Everybody's still at the table. Let me ask you this question tonight. Have you noticed that something that once made you feel wrong now barely makes you feel bad at all? Something that once made you feel wrong now barely makes you feel bad at all. All right, someone said, yep, unfortunately. Okay. I'm going to break it down tonight at this table. Something that once made you feel wrong now barely makes you feel bad. Guess what? You didn't get caught. You didn't suffer immediate consequences. You feel fine. So guess what happened? Your brain says, see, it wasn't that bad. You can handle this. See, the first time you gave into the temptation, you didn't get caught. You didn't suffer immediate consequences. You feel fine. So this is what your brain says. Your brain says, see, it wasn't that bad. You can handle this. Notice the first time you felt terrible. You promised God you'll never do it again. You cried, you repented. But the second time, the guilt is quieter because you've already proven to yourself that you can survive the fallout. So the second just once begins to harden, making you feel less sensitive, less aware, and less alarmed. Can I get some thumbs up? Can I get some thumbs up, some eye emojis? Let me know you're still here. The second just once begins to harden, making you feel less sensitive, making you feel less aware and less alarmed. So you stop trying to change it. You just now, here it is, you manage it. It's like someone who is tempted with pornography. What makes it easy the second time, the first time makes it easy the second time. The second time makes it easier for the third time. You're less sensitive to what's happening. You're less aware, less alarmed. Because you're already proven to yourself that you can survive the fallout. So you stop trying to change it, you just manage it. Okay, if you're still at the conversation, type, oh boy. Oh boy. I like to see who's here. Type, oh boy. Okay, okay. For all those who stand at the table.
I am so proud of you.
Okay, those who stand at the table, I just want to say it's a good job. I am so proud of you.
I am so proud of you.
What's a good start? Here's a good start. Stop saying just. Because the moment you catch yourself saying it's just one time, stop. Stop saying just. Stop saying just. It's just one time. Stop that. Replace it with the truth. And name the cost up front. Not just today, or 6 months from now, or a year from now. What will it cost me? What will it cost me? I see a lot of old boys. That's good. Being honest with yourself is the first step of God making a change in your life. So how do we start? Stop saying just one time, just this once. We're making an exception. We're trying to weaken the blow. So stop saying just. What will it cost me? Then ask yourself, how many times have I already said just this once about this? Ask yourself, how many times have I said just this once? Somebody may be there tonight. They are in a position or place and they have said just this once 10 just this once ago. And now they are still in that situation. Stop saying just. Ask yourself, how many times have I already said this? How many times have I said this? Okay, I like the answers. Someone said, I need to make that an hourly pop-up on my phone that says, girl, stop saying just this once. I like that. Okay. CC has thumbs up. How many times have I already said just this once? How many times have I said, this is the last time I'm going to buy this. This is the last time I'm going to finagle these numbers. This is the last time I'm going out with that individual. This is the last time I'm going to go on that site. This is the last time I'm going to mishandle my money or my credit cards. It's the last time I'm just going to mishandle my diet, whatever I'm being tempted with. How many times have I already said just this once about this. So you have to replace it with the truth, and then name the cost up front. How much is this going to cost me? How much is this really going to cost me? Not just today, not just tomorrow, 6 months, maybe a year from now. How much is this going to cost me? How much is this going to cost me? It's amazing how deep this conversation or this topic goes. And that's what this whole channel is about, opening up the discussion on temptation. And we're trying to come at it from every angle to get a better understanding. To get a better understanding. Here's what I want you to remember. Just one time is never just one time. Just one time is never just one time. Every choice you make is training you for the next choice. Remember that. Every choice you make is training you for the next choice. Every time you say yes to temptation, you're making it easier to say yes again. Every time you say no, you're making it easier to say no again. So every choice you make is training you for the next choice. And you wonder why it was easier the second time. Because every time you say yes to temptation, you're making it easy to say yes again. You're training yourself for the next choice. And if that's the case, every time you say no, you're making it easier to say no again. I know we've heard this before. People say, just say no. But actually, we just have to say no. All right, you still there? Somebody type in at the table. I'm still at the table. Let me know you're still at the table. I don't want you to run from the table. You're still at the table. Your comfort zone blinds you from the truth. I like that. Wish I heard this word a long time ago. I know that's right. Still at the table. Okay, still at the table. Still at the table. We got to reserve your seat at the table. We're going to be discussing this, breaking this down. Every topic is going deeper and deeper into this word temptation. And we're taking it from Eve's situation in Genesis chapter 3. And like we said in the beginning, if only Eve would talk, what would she tell us? And this is the things that we're coming up with about temptation. So every time you say yes to temptation, you're making it easy to say yes again. And if that's the case, and every time you say no, you're making it easier to say no again. So you're either building strength or building weakness. There's no neutral. You're either building strength or you're building weakness. When I keep saying yes, I'm causing myself to be more weak. If I can say no, then I am strengthening myself to say no again. Which goes back to my question. How many times have you told yourself it's just one time about something and then found yourself doing it again? Let me tell you, you'll never get tempted with something that won't tempt you. So if chocolate cake never tempts you, then don't even think chocolate cake is going to come your way. But if candy is your temptation, all your temptations are going to center around those things that will cause you to fall. So you're either building strength or building weakness. There's no neutral. There's no neutral. I'm Thomas E. Cunningham, and thanks for being honest with yourself tonight. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and share. We're here every Thursday at 8 p.m. And until then, don't forget to notice it, to name it, and nail it with truth. See you next Thursday.